Esto es una indicación de quiénes somos, sí que podemos enfrentar el desafío, que ellos empezaron muy bien en el día. Hemos hablado de la disciplina y la ejecución de estas cosas no cambian. Cuando haces esto con y sin la bola, puedes hacerlo bien. Estamos con 11 muchachos en el campo y eso está claro. Lo importante es que el grupo está bien unido. Los últimos 4 o 5 juegos han sido muy buenos y para mí quedó claro que la tendencia es muy positiva. Vamos a aprovechar las oportunidades y alcanzar los resultados. Felicidades por la victoria, técnico. ¿Puede hablar del equipo que empezó hoy el penal? Brad estuvo un poco enfermo al principio de la semana, no entrenó la semana entera. Estaba buscando una oportunidad para para que él se incorporara rápidamente a los entrenamientos. Es importante entender el estrés y la importancia de este torneo, pero yo lo necesitaba en los penales por si era necesario. Empezó como regular por primera vez en mucho tiempo cuando llegó el momento y cuando lo necesitamos él respondió y todos le agradecemos bastante. Eso es importante para ganar confianza y fue muy importante para el grupo. Hablando de confianza, ¿cómo lo afectó a él el hecho de haber anotado el gol? Él sabe lo importante que es para el equipo y eso impacta en los demás que están a su alrededor, impacta en la intensidad, en la sed del grupo, el hambre por ganar. Él ejerce gran influencia en todo el equipo y lo hace muy bien, pero él es un ser humano. Es difícil para él cuando no va bien. Estos jugadores lo conocen bien y él tuvo un tremendo desempeño hoy e impulsó y fomentó al grupo de una forma positiva. Estoy seguro que en los próximos días estará mejor y seremos el próximo juego. Es importante aprovechar este ímpetu, es un excelente momento en la temporada y ahora están en la Copa de Ligas. ¿Qué se puede hacer para el grupo teniendo en cuenta las circunstancias? Exactamente lo que has visto. Ha habido varios momentos en la temporada, a veces aprovechas el impulso, a veces no. Y los impulsos, estos enviones, suceden dentro del juego, dentro de la temporada y hay que aprovecharlo. Hablamos muchísimo de esto. Siempre hablamos de cuando llega el momento, ese impulso hay que aprovecharlo. Desempeños como este ayudan a expresar la índole del equipo. Tenemos el entusiasmo, la energía de los muchachos que no empezaron el juego, pero que lo acabaron. También es importante tener en cuenta todos los elementos del juego, incluyendo a los fanáticos. Tenemos que aprovechar este envión, este impulso, pero tenemos otro oponente importantísimo que vamos a enfrentar. Y el juego se trata de esto, aprovechar las oportunidades para vencer el juego y tener un buen desempeño aprovechando todas las chances. Esta es una pregunta para Zoom. Pumas entró con demasiada confianza. Hoy tienes que preguntarles a ellos. Solo hasta después que él salió, este es un momento difícil para él, tiene que ver con la CONCACAF. Yo no puedo decir nada, pero tú lo has dicho. Fue mala suerte, pero seguiremos conversando. Reconocemos sus cualidades. Es muy dinámico, cambia bastante la velocidad. Esta es una competencia fuera de nuestra propia liga, pero no voy a entrar en esos detalles. Pero quedó claro lo que pasó esta noche. Muchísimas gracias, técnico. No hay más preguntas por el momento.
Please raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. When doing so, state your name and the outlet you're representing. Coach, I'll let you give a opening statement.
Obviously really pleased with the performance and the result. Pumas are an extremely good team. So we had adversity that we faced in many ways, and the players put in a big effort and got rewarded. They were fantastic today. The fans were also incredible as always to help push and keep steering these guys in a good direction. The energy from the guys on the field, the energy from the guys off the field. It shows who they are, the character. Our performances in the last 4 or 5 games have been solid. We've been down a guy probably a little bit too often, but these guys hung in there, they grinded and got a much deserved result. So we'll enjoy tonight. We'll get ready for Monterey in a few days, but the guys showed their willingness, their character, and certainly their quality as well, which was incredible display of grit.
Yeah, in particular, just looking at one moment of the game, you have Bukari go out with that second yellow in the 34th minute, and then Danny Pereira has that run and finds Sardis 11 minutes later, gets that go-ahead goal. Just kind of thoughts on where things are.
Yeah, I think that was our second goal, right? When we were
Yeah, it was.
down a guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we
that's
were
right. Yeah, you were up 2-0.
We were already in the lead. The first goal is a good take as well. Alex does great in getting in the final third. We have an overlap, so we got options, and say it every week. It's about making plays that are in front of you. The game has requirements, and in this game, the game's requirements change throughout the game. So the guys worked extremely hard, and Pepe's been sensational in the last 4 or 5 games, and it's indicative of who he is as a player. He's continuing to grow the maturity as well, but. Alex does a great job in the first goal. Pepe jumps it well in the second. Giassi takes it extremely well. The third goal, Seba, finishes off a fantastic a fantastic goal. He takes it extremely good. So, even we grabbed a goal, down a guy, we grabbed 2 goals. I don't know if it's. I've been part of a lot of games that have a lot of emotion, but the collective on the field as well as the guys off, plus the fan, it was impressive. It was really impressive.
And then this is the first time that Ring's been captain with Druzy on the field since 22. Is that just a Leagues Cup special, or is that a change that's happening now?
Well, we talked about it a little bit in our locker room. We want whatever we need to do to get the very best out of Seba and the group ultimately. So Alex has filled in for Seba a number of times. So tonight that was that.
Congrats on the win,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Yeah, what would you say this win says about the character of your team?
We've seen this character throughout the year. Again, thankfully, we have bodies now. We have a little bit more quality now as well. But we've seen this on display in many of the games. And, we were down a guy in Dallas and putting in a big shift. We were down a guy against Seattle and pushing and grinding. The game against Charlotte was still a game that we should probably grab more from these 3 games in a week. But the performances were much better. The way that we go about the game, having Danny Pereira part of it, having, obviously Julio back in the mix. Seba is a big piece of this. But we need everybody to perform at a really good level. And, the execution is gonna vary depending upon our ability to perform in the stressful moments, but the guys did a great job tonight, and it should give the guys a lot of confidence going forward. And as I said before, I think the last 3 or 4 performances for the group have been extremely good. Possession, chances, shots, these were things we all talked about earlier in the year, but as we get our full complement of players, adding in Mikel and certainly Buka has to continue to adapt and understand a little bit of what the league looks like. But Zbatak is also in, Alexander's also here, so we got some things that we can look forward to.
Yeah, and then Ring with a goal and an assist, Pereira with an assist. Just how important are these attacking contributions from your midfield?
Huge. I think it's we can get it in various ways. I think when we have the ball, the expectation is he's a little bit further up the field, and I talked to him last game about it as well against Charlotte. He has to arrive. That's part of being that 10. It's the toughest job on the field because he's the one that has to arrive at one end, and now he has to defend as a center mid, and it could be defending in the line or defending in front of the goal. So that position specifically, physically, is the most demanding. So it takes a toll, and I think it's just you're prioritizing some of the things for him and getting in his ear a little bit more about it. But Danny's been extremely good since coming back. I think that's been a big positive. And those central players, again, for possession purposes, for the ability to move the attack forward and side to side, it's extremely important. Pepe, we don't have a replacement for, so it's challenging when we don't have him. And he's when he's showing that bravery and quality, he can unlock a lot of things that we just don't have when we have other center mids in there. So Alex did a good job as well. Seba, I thought, had a very good night, and the whole group did. Again, at the end of the day, there were big requirements as this game moved on, and the guys handled it quite well.
Josh, on halftime, you have won 10 men and 2-1. What was the conversation with the team to keep them focused?
Yeah, I think getting to halftime without making too much changes and also identifying what Pumas were doing. They were putting a lot of balls in. They got into half spaces and were dumping balls on top of the back line. So we knew we had to adjust and get a little more pressure and in those wide areas while also preventing the central areas. So we knew right away we needed to get to a 5, and that's why we brought in Owen. And now we flattened out with 3 center mids and had Seba still on the field, because at the end of the day, we need quality. We need Seba to be out there, and Giassi put in a good shift. But when you have Alex, Pepe, and Owen, you have the ability to get out and get pressure to balls in wide areas. When you can transition, you have Pepe and Owen who can also dribble, and now you can have Biro and Johnny join as necessary, and Seba does a great job holding balls up. And it was always going to be a grind and a battle in that way. We know we're not going to have a ton of possession, but when you get chances to transition, when you get chances to get set pieces, you have to make them count. And I thought the guys did a really good job with that. And as the game went on, it becomes taxing. It's more a mental and physical exercise as the game goes on, and we saw a lot in the last little bit of this game.
You just mentioned that this was a dramatic and very excited game. Do you think this is? I mean, we think is the best victory of the history of the club. What do you think?
I think it's a good victory. I wouldn't say the best of the history of the club, but it's
Creo
important.
que fue una importante victoria. No sé si será la mejor del club,